Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to make a watercolor sketchbook. Now, all the pre-bound sketchbooks I have left in my inventory do not take kindly to water. They're not sized. So I thought I would take my huge roll of Strathmore paper that I purchased for the year and cut some stuff out and see if I can make myself a sketchbook that I can watercolor in, that I can mix media in, and create sort of a sketchbook custom to my interests and see if I can do this without doing any binding or thread. Okay, let's get started. Okay, here is my roll of Strathmore 500 paper. As you can see, I have a yardstick laid out across it, 36 inches. 39¼ inches is a meter. So this is over a meter long, over a yard long. Okay, so I've done my initial cut from the roll, and I've decided on the size 8 by 14 because I'm going to be folding these in half. The end size will be 7 by 8. So I'm going to get to cutting these down so they are all exact. Okay, so I have taken sheets that are 14 by 8-ish and folded them in half. And I have 6 here. And so that's 24 pages, front and back. I plan on using all sides of this. Now you notice that it's a little slapdash and not super even. I wanted to make a celebrating sunshine sketchbook. So we don't have a lot of sun some months where I live. And this past week has been so sunny and so beautiful. And we were able to go out and go to the beach and do some fun sunshine things. And I will share little clips of those videos with you. But I wanted to make a sketchbook celebrating that. So that's what this is going to be. And it's going to be very mixed media, but I also want a watercolor. Now, because I'm not doing a no-buy anymore, I can now share. So this is my daughter's little box of strange edge scissors. Now these are over a decade old, so some of them might be a little worse for wear. But I thought if we're celebrating sunshine and joy and all these fun things, it might be fun to have some unusual edges to my paper. So I am going to try one of these and we're gonna see how this works. Okay. Now this paper isn't fully flat because it's not. I just haven't had time to press it flat. And I plan on every day that there is beautiful sunshine. Oh my gosh, can I even open these? Oh, okay. Every day that there is sunshine, I plan on getting this sketchbook out and just celebrating that, going outside and just drawing some beautiful things in bright, sort of sunshiny colors. Oh my gosh. These are wild. Okay. This is so wild. I think I'm only getting the one side. Okay. Oh. Okay, I kind of got one side. I'm gonna do the other one. Oh, these are fun and messy. So if you're wondering if I'm borrowing this from my daughter, what does my daughter get to borrow? She's been borrowing my Richardson hand-rolled soft pastels. So we share in this house. Okay. So here is one fold. And it's so kind of crunchy and strange. Oh, I'm here for it. It's just weird enough. Okay, I'm gonna do some weird edging to these other pages. Okay, sorry about that. Now, so all of these have weird, strange edges. And it's just, this is just for fun. This isn't something that's, you know, it's not a perfection thing. It's just for fun. So, I love it. It's so weird. Okay. Now, for binding, I went into our kitchen, which I will do a video later that involves our kitchen. Our kitchen is kind of a very cool space that we redid. And I got some skewers. Now I need to make a template because what does need to align are these seams. And we're going to bind this. You're going to watch me bind this with skewers. Are you ready? Okay. Okay. So this binding is called a piano hinge binding. And every single folded group of paper is called a signature. Now I am going to measure out the edge because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making little clips and cuts evenly aligned with all the other signatures. And I'm going to be sticking skewers in, and these are going to attach together. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what is she doing? And I often think that a lot about my projects and my ideas. But I thought this just looked so cool and sounded like something fun. And again, we had skewers in our kitchen drawer because we make kebabs and all kinds of fun stuff. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. So I am just marking where I'm going to be clipping, and I'm going to be doing this on all the pages. Okay, so all of these have been marked. Now I am going to cut on these little lines with my scissors. I'm going to make a little triangle cut on these. And then you can see the skewer through these little triangle cuts. Oh, I hope this works. If this doesn't work, I'll figure something else out. I'm not wasting this paper, but I don't know. I want to try fun new things and keep curious and stay inspired and explore. And this is just one of the ways I think it'd be fun to do this. So, and then after I'm done binding this, hopefully, we will do a little watercolor in here and create a front cover and stuff. So that is what one finished one looks like. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so I have all the notches cut in all my signatures. If you are curious to see this tutorial done professionally, I found a creator on YouTube. Her name is Christy Warren, and she shows how to do this piano hinge binding professionally. And she shows you how to make like a hardcover, sort of cardboard cover. I'm not going to be doing that. Again, this is my first time ever doing this, and I am doing this on camera because if I fail, I learn a ton. So either way, like, we're going to be learning stuff. So now you have to bend the little bits, some forward and some backward. And this is the sort of piano hinging, which, how much fun is this? And then they all have to, every signature or group of papers has to be doing the same thing. So, if you suffer from misophonia, I will spare you. Okay, so I received a phone call, so I'm going to start this again. Basically, here are all my hinged pieces. If you can see those, they're all sort of hinged the same directions. The first one's going to the right, the second one to the left, and so on and so forth. So what you do, and I'm taking two of my signatures, and I'm actually starting with the second one, but then it goes through the first one, and then the second one. So you're sort of weaving two signatures together. And again, mine are just one folded sheet, but yours can have multiple sheets per signature. And putting them together with the skewer. This is the wildest thing I've ever done. Well, you know, maybe. We'll see. It would help if these were kind of bumped out a little bit. Again, the tutorial I'm following, hers is really cleverly done because each of her signatures is a different sheet of colored paper. So you can really see the weaving and binding process. I highly recommend you go over and see what a professional looks like. This is what a newbie looks like. This is me in the mood to watercolor and do some arts and crafts. So you are arts and crafting with me today. Oop. And I kind of, let's get this guy a little bumped out a little bit. Okay. And that'll help with the weaving of the skewers. I am battering this one a little bit. All right. So there's my first signature. Looks like this. How wild is this? So I grab the next one and you just keep going. Let me grab another skewer. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. One of my daughters is watching because she wants to see what her mother thinks she's doing. Okay. See, look, I took your scissors and I made fun edges. You like that?
Yeah.
Okay. This is definitely wild. So I am going to keep going, doing this off camera because I have all my lights off. When you record, it brightens it up, and I am doing this in the dark. And doing this in the dark is very difficult. So I will be back with more completed, I promise. Okay, so here I have all my signatures put together. Oh, I missed one in here, didn't I? I missed one. Okay, I'm gonna go back through with this one and see if I can catch that one. This is why doing this in the dark without my my glasses that make everything bigger. I have some magnifying, just glasses. I think they're like Magnify 10. They're very helpful in times like this. Okay. All right, we're going all the way back through. Ha! It worked! I'm always so amazed when I can do a thing for the first time. Okay, so for the end pieces, there's some end flaps. You just stick a skewer in those too. Oh my goodness. Oh, go gadget eyeballs. Okay. Oh, this skewer's broken. Hold on. Let me get a better one. It would be a cool idea to also paint the skewers. Like painted gold would be really pretty. All right, let's do the other side. Or purple for my purple lovers. But the natural wood's pretty too. It's kind of a blonde color. A very light wood. Let's see if I can get this in without ripping anything. That's the real trick, isn't it? Now, okay, so here's the finished. How cool is that? That is the coolest looking thing. So in Christy's video, she also does thread to sort of hold it tight on the edges. I may or may not do that. I don't know. She also recommends if you don't like the length of the skewers or the pointy tip, that you take. These are nail clippers for our dog. I will link these. These are for sensitive dogs. So they're very, very gentle. So you can trim up the edges. I'm going to leave it for right now and see if I want to add weave thread or whatever. I really, really want to get to painting and creating on this. So I'm going to get my watercolor supplies out and we're going to have fun. Okay. So I have sort of sketched out, laid out a little tiny sandpiper, which is a little tiny bird that lives by the beach, because the whole theme of this sketchbook is going to be celebrating sunshine. And when it is sunshiny and beautiful, all the seabirds come out. It's very wonderful. Let's see. I don't like bringing my water across my page like that. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. So we're going to do just a little bit of the eye here. This brush is a little big. So I am just using my Schmincke, my Hoodrum Aquarelle. This is the Ivory Black. It is not vegan. I have a whole video about sort of the pros and cons of this paint. I will link that in the description box along with a tutorial on how to make the Piano Hinge book, because as you can see, I've never made it before and I was able to do it. So if I can do it, then you can do it. And I'm going to move on to the feet. Cute little feet. I like this paper for watercolor because it's 100% cotton. I don't know if I will be doing back-to-back watercolors though, just because of the thinness of the weight of the paper. So it's going to be very, very mixed media, but this is fun. I like binding my own things, and it's fun making my own sizes, and then all the edges are so wonky and kind of wonderful. There's kind of a charm to that. I'm obviously far from perfectionist when it comes to doing things. I'm very sort of slapdash and quick. But if you have a great attention to detail, you might really, really enjoy binding your own sketchbooks. I'm much more relaxed. So mine are all a little slapdash, a little, oh yeah, that's very homemade. I'm okay with that. All right, get a little beak in there. All right. Now the feathers are predominantly grays, and I might add a little brown just to sort of warm it up a little bit. Because again, sunshine. And you know what I might add? Let's do this. Let's add a little tiny bit. I have some gold in a pan. And so we're going to add a little tiny bit of the gold, just so every illustration in here kind of sparkles and reinforces that sunshine idea, that motif that we're going with. All right. And that does warm it up. Introduce a little gold to my pans. Okay. And then when we look at this sketchbook in the sunshine, because it has gold paint, it will sparkle, and that will be really, really cool. It'll just reinforce everything we're trying to do with this. I know some folks are having really, really, really hard, rough winters. Stay warm, stay safe. See if your community has warming shelters you can get to. It can be very, very difficult this time of year. A lot of people going without sun for many, many months. That can be very hard mentally on folks. There are light bulbs that give off vitamin D for those that are interested. And those can be very, very helpful if you are craving more sunshine than you're getting. There's vitamin D3 is in the sunshine, and it helps with the absorption of calcium. So vitamin D is very good for you. And we're just going to celebrate that. All the good things. And a little tiny tail. And this is very, very pale. I hope this shows up on camera. I never know when I'm doing little tiny delicate things if these things show up. And just, you know, a little shadow so we can see the body of the bird without totally filling in. We'll have some white negative space from the paper. And then I'm gonna go in real heavy with the gold there and get some, maybe a little orange for the eye. Introduce a little tiny bit of orange with the gold. And put a little bit on the beak. All right, and we can just highlight the leg a little bit. All right, that's my little sandpiper for my sketchbook. And maybe the sand's reflective. Let's have a little bit of reflective sand. And so he's not quite floating, we'll add a little bit of gold earth. So he's on the beach, he's in the sand. All right, so there's my little sandpiper. Now I need to have a title, hold on. Okay, so I have hand lettered in the lettering I want. I wanted to show you, this is the gold pan I was using. This is the 36 set. I had to buy the gold and silver separately in case you're interested in that. Okay, so I am going to move this on over and I am going to get to inking. I am using a gold Posca. This is the pen type. It is the smallest nib they have. Once I use it up, I probably won't repurchase it. I like the Uniball Signo in gold a little bit more. So that is what I'm going to switch to. Again, I am very far away from what I am doing. So I can show you on camera that I'm going to be doing gold over this. So let me catch you back when this is done. Okay, so this is what I have. This is just faux calligraphy hand lettering. I tried in 2019 to really work on and practice calligraphy, and the two things I used were a Tombow pen, the brush side, and then I used a composition notebook with graph paper, and I just did one word like 5 times every day, and I did that for about 6 months before I stopped. I just don't have enough time in the day, it turns out, to learn all the things I want to learn in one lifetime. So hand lettering and faux calligraphy is just easier for me, but you can see it has that real sparkle sheen, and here's my little sandpiper. I'm going to be adding more things. I want this to sort of be more studies than polished finished pieces. So I might, it may just have hundreds of little things everywhere, and I might collage a little bit. I'm not sure. I apologize for the pet hair. One of our cats jumped up on my desk earlier. So as you can see, the watercolor looks really nice on the other side. I'm still doing my Stology A5 every single day, but what I noticed with some watercolor, this one is okay, but when I was doing, I sort of splashed watercolor for sort of like a, I don't know, stipple splash effect. And what I found was, let me find that illustration. And you know I can't find it when I need it. Hold on, let's see, let me find it. You want to see what I've been doing? Okay, so I tried charcoal in here, and I sprayed charcoal, and that looks pretty good. I've been doing lots of micron pen and ink, rawr. Okay, and just practicing weird lettering. This is colored pencil, and then this is just pen and ink with other ink on top of it, silver. And this is just colored pencil. Happy New Year. Here's more lettering. It's now Year of the Rabbit. I tried to draw a dragon and I have no idea how. So I made some notes. Yeah. Here is a study on pattern and design in sort of a landscape. Here's one of the native birds to New Zealand. It's actually this color green, which is why I chose it. And then I added some gold, and he's a pirate. And then a little bit of botanical design. It says really faintly quack. Here's my swimming duck. It says meow. And then I tried a bunch of different styles of portraits. This one has watercolor and pen and ink. I'm just trying different things, seeing what medium I like and what I don't like. Here's just a weird, surreal portrait. Here's the one I was trying to show you. So I did sort of a portrait, and then I did branches, and I splattered paint on here, but you can clearly see that the paint that was left sort of, it bled through. So this is not for dry washes and really light watercolor, very sort of dry brush. This works. For wet or wet on wet, it's gonna bleed, so have something underneath, some sort of page protector. Here's a little watercolor over ink. And that one was okay because it was very dry brush. Here is a portrait with a tentacle. I was doing a lot of portraits for a minute. There's another sort of botanical, surreal portrait. This one, I don't know what direction this one looks best in, but this is just micron pen and experimenting and playing around. And then this is just a micron. So, for watercolor, this is gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm super excited. Thanks for like hanging out. Thanks for watching me learn how to bind this sort of piano binding for the very first time. It was a lot of fun. It didn't take very long and there was no sewing required. Again, I will link the tutorial that I used. That was very thorough and helpful. There are tons of different binding techniques, and I may do more as I fill up things that I'm using just for fun watercolor studies. But this one is all going to be about sunshine. I found the most perfect seashell, so I'm kind of excited about that too. So I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.